Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you guys are all holding up. I know here in Ohio and many other states across the country and even countries around the world, things are starting to open up and people are starting to get out. The weather's starting to get nice. So I hope that the energy is lifting for you a little bit. The good news is this new moon that is coming up tomorrow, which is May 22nd, Friday, May 22nd here in the US, is the new moon in Gemini. Gemini ushers in the summer solstice season, which is hard to believe. I feel like it's been winter, spring for eons, but this is set to be what I'm hearing is a breath of fresh air, light energy. Um, I think things are going to start happening really fast because it is Gemini is an air sign. And when I say things are going to be happening fast, obviously this is a soul connections video. I don't necessarily mean partners are going to come into union, but I think the next phase of what those who are on the sacred partner, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, path, things are just going to be full speed ahead. And I'm going to get into that here in a minute in the energy, more of the energy update of what's going on. But it is, everything is being mapped out for us. And I think we just need to tap into it and we need to flow. So that part of it, it's just, we're being guided now. It's evident, if you're on this path, if it, you guys know, if you've been on it, 2, 3 years, maybe longer, things are really starting to shift and to just move forward quickly. So wherever that leads us, many of us this time, 2 years ago thought, oh, we were seeking, and I'm gonna get into that in a minute, this fairy tale outcome and figured everything would be, sunshine and roses and we'd be in union by now and having our little, twin flame babies and, being light bearers. And it's becoming apparent that what we signed up for is much greater than that. And the journey has been much more difficult than that, but yet it's also been absolutely amazing. So anyway, I digress. We are entering Gemini season. Gemini, I don't think I mentioned this already, is the sign of the twins. And I just think it's really fitting, some of my friends, and I don't want to just put anybody that's a Gemini down, but there's a joke going, that I've heard from multiple places, like the Gemini is the two-faced, the two-sided sign. But to me, it's like the twin flames, masculine and feminine represent duality, and there's like the opposite energies that have to come into balance. So it's becoming even more apparent to me just within myself. I now, I don't really even need to pull cards right now to tell you guys what's going on with the masculine and the feminine that are, on this path. And again, I'm talking about those of you who have been on this journey for a long time. If you're just starting out, looking for your twin flame, I don't know how much this is going to resonate other than this is going to give you kind of what's happened in my journey. And, from when I first awakened and my feminine started, awakening, and then the masculine, because I've been through both sides of the coin. So that's what predominantly I'm going to talk about in this video, is where I feel that my feminine energy within myself is, where it's been, how it's evolved, and then the masculine side. I will probably pull some cards if there's time, but that's just what I'm being guided to do right now. So, I hope this resonates for you guys. Now, that being said, I've got a piece of paper here. I wanted to take a bunch of notes because I've been contemplating doing this for some time. And then I thought, well, the new moon's here, so let's just go. So, if you followed my journey, from the beginning, you guys know it was almost 3 years ago. It was May 24th, 2017, when my soul was awakened. So it's been almost 3 years. It was a guy that I had been friends with for several months, and we had like dated on and off, and I don't know what happened that night and what was different, but when I kissed him, I tasted his soul. And if you guys have been, activated on the Sacred Partner Connection, if you've went through that awakening, it's indescribable. And it was just something that it was cosmic. It was something that was beyond this world, and it was just, it blew me away. In that, like, what I experienced, my soul just was like literally awakened was the term I used, and I had no idea what it meant. Also, at the same time, you guys know, all my chakras started activating. I was blowing light bulbs. Light bulbs were exploding. I was starting to look at things from a higher perspective. I had just recently, had literally a few months prior, went through a really painful divorce. I was starting to let go of my bitterness. I was starting to forgive. Look at, and just all these things were happening. I started having ascension flu. I mean, you guys know the story. So I didn't even know what twin flames were. I didn't know they existed. I had no idea. I wasn't looking for it. And then all the stuff started just inundating my newsfeed on Facebook. Things would show up on my phone from YouTube when I didn't even watch YouTube. And so there I was. And I thought, well, that's what this is. And I latched onto it. And, you know, as that happens, and as a feminine, as many of the divine feminines are, women who have, and I use genders, but again, it's within us. So take what resonates, take it however, whichever direction it goes. But as these are, often women like myself who've been through a lot of heartbreak, narcissistic relationships, failed relationships, these types of things. And so when you experience that level of a depth of something that's beyond this world and beyond comprehension, and then you start realizing what it means, or at least what you're told it means at the time, you latch on to that fantasy, you latch on to the fairy tale, you something, it's like completely takes over. It's just like, oh my God, yes, this is my person. We're meant to be. There's no way on earth that anyone else could ever make me feel this way. And there you go. And so what happens then is the twin flame dynamic, whether they're really your twin flame or they're a catalyst, as in, many of us are finding out we were awakened by catalysts, whatever label you want to call it, you go through these same experiences, and it starts triggering things in you, because you latch onto them, because you believe it's meant to be, and you awaken first, you start focusing everything on them. How do I get them to awaken? How can I make them realize, what I felt? And just because, I'm having all these crazy experiences, astral encounters, I mean, dreams that are not dreams. I mean, literally like astral, feeling physical, I mean, sexual intercourse. I mean, that's what happens in an astral encounter. Um, I had my Kundalini awakening around the same time. And then I was like, oh, I told I could do Reiki. And I had so much heat coming out of my body. And like I said, the Kundalini awakening, my head exploded. I was just like, what is happening to me? Right. And so, of course, I assume, because I'm having these experiences in the astral realm with this other person, with their soul, that he's feeling it too, that he's experiencing it too, even though he may not remember, oh, surely, we had a dream, we were in each other's dream, or whatever. And I'm feeling his energy. I'm starting to pick up on pains he's having, or knowing like when he's had a long day or he's got a headache, or it's like he has to be experiencing this too because I am. Well, no, not necessarily. For whatever reason, the feminine energy gets activated first. And it is to help the feminine energy, it brings up the codependency templates. And after so long, the fairy tale stuff, it's just, you put this person on a pedestal, and you're not really stepping into your power. You're not truly a divine feminine when you're letting somebody treat you in a toxic manner just because they are your twin flame, just because you believe that they're this person that's going to come in and ride in on their horse and the fairy tale ending. And one day they're just going to wake up like Sleeping Beauty. They're going to wake up and realize, oh yeah, I do love you. And it is meant to be. All that is that entire time that I spent, and what was it? Probably when I realized what it was, I mean, it was going on 3 years. It was really probably about 2.5 years before I really started. It was last summer when I really just started questioning this, like even before that, just like, this isn't even, why would I want this? Why would I choose this? Why would I want to be treated like this? And really kind of just setting boundaries and saying, no, this is not okay. This is not okay. And I love myself. And that's what, and they trigger so much stuff in you. They trigger your self-worth. They trigger, rejection and abandonment wounds, because it was just like, how can this guy, I'm feeling this so strongly. And when we're together, he would even say, oh, this is just so amazing. I have such a wonderful time with you. Why don't we do this more often? And then he would ghost me, you know? And it's like, he had no problem walking away from even our friendship, just even texting or being a friend for, 2-3 months. I hear nothing. And he's fine. He's living his life. He's having fun. And, what did that bring up in me? Right? The childhood wounds, all the times my friends, would stop talking to me at lunch, and I'd have to find a different table of people who really didn't really even want me there, but they'd accept me, the friends that just, the rejection, the abandonment, just being bullied, and just feeling like all of that. It was just this beautiful gift, because, if you're on this path, you guys know everything it did to serve you and your growth, all the triggers, all it did, it's like, well, I believe in this so strongly that I know he's going to come around. So I've just got to keep working on myself. So then you turn inward, and you start working on all the things subconsciously. You start having dreams. Like I said, you just start knowing, all right, this is reminding me, oh my God, I haven't felt this since I was in 5th grade. And this is a horrible feeling. Oh, and then you sit down and you write it out, and then you burn it, and then you forgive those people. You forgive yourself for things you've done, things that I didn't even think were in my realm of consciousness as far as being an issue anymore. He triggered in me. And it was just such a beautiful gift. And then because I, after so many months of this, and thinking that this was, my ultimate destiny, I felt like I needed to save myself for him, and a sacred partner in any regard. I wasn't going to just date anybody who wasn't my twin flame, because there's no point in that, right? Because I thought I was going to end up with him. But it ended up this beautiful thing, because you use that time to go inward and focus on you. That's when 2 years ago, I spent 4 months studying tarot, and, they found me, the spiritual group, I'm an angel knight. And that has been the most life-changing experience, to really let me, enable me and teach me and guide me in becoming a light bearer and stepping into my mission. It's like all this time, when you're starting to focus on this person and getting them back, and then you start really quickly realizing it's about you. But you get, it takes a long time. And so the more you work on yourself, like I said, you get to this point where you start setting boundaries, and you start saying, you know what, this is not okay. And you start, after so much time as well, and the more you ascend in your consciousness, the less that your physical needs control. And so just because you're saving yourself for this person doesn't mean you're willing to drop everything and, pray for one night. They give you one night of their time every few months. It's like, you know what? No, if that, I got to the point like last fall, where it was like, if this comes around, like, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in any of this anymore. I'd rather not have this person in my life at all, if that's all I'm going to get. And so it's just amazing when you look back at the journey and how much you didn't love yourself, how much you attached onto someone else, and would put up with any type of crumbs. Because totally what he would give me was crumbs. And then you get to a point where it's like, no, I'm worth more than that. I don't need this, because I'm so happy and whole within myself. I deserve a king, not a page. So that's the feminine's journey, right? That I experienced, and many, and take it for what it is. I mean, usually if it's whatever partner I'm most likely awakened first, okay? But now, so we get to this part and it's like, my gosh, we've been doing this, we've been working on ourselves. Now what? And so many people in the collective are finding they were awakened by a catalyst. And now it's like, all right, yeah, I'm okay with that. Now we're in a pandemic and now my skills are needed. And because you've spent all that time focusing on you and detaching from that outcome with that specific person, you're able to fully devote yourself to mission now and be okay with that, if that makes any sense. The divine feminines, we're being asked to step up in ways that we never have before. I can't believe, I mean, honestly, just in the last week, the things I've done in my business. If you guys follow my Facebook page, I mean, I have a full-time job. And it's just like, I've had this, like the angelic energy, the divine just pushing on me like, go, go, go. It's go time. This is the time, while you're able to work at home, save that hour commute a day, not have to get dressed other than for your videos that you're doing, which is rare. You have this extra time, plant the seeds, do it, help as many people as you can, get it out there. So, just in the span of a week, I have set up, I am training I'm doing my first Reiki course. I'm teaching, it's just going to like a beta test group. But I'm teaching three of my friends, Holy Fire. I'm attuning them to Holy Fire Master Reiki. So that's 3 days. So I'm doing that in June, early June. I'm starting a tarot course, June 11th. I mean, I never dreamed I would be teaching. I mean, I know I got certified as a Reiki teacher 2 years ago, but to think I would be doing that, like, I don't have time for that. But it's like this push. It's like, now it's up level. Yeah, great. You started a YouTube channel a year ago, Sarah. Great. Good job. Now you're doing extended videos on Vimeo. You did that. You're doing a little bit more here and there. No, it's time to up level. I got ordained with Universal Life Church Ministries so that I can start offering relationship counseling. There's some other things I'm starting to tap into. Mediumship is starting to happen. I'm getting messages for close friends from their loved ones, very specific things. So that's something that, I'm working on that. And it's just in the last week, and in the last week as well, one of my friends who is a divine feminine twin flame, she's felt the call to start working more on her spirituality and her gifts. And so she's one of the ones I'm going to be teaching in the Holy Fire Reiki. And she is going to be joining the Angel Knights, the spiritual group. That was 2-year commitment. And you can leave any time, but it's it is a path towards more enlightenment, towards spiritual growth. She's feeling the call and the pull to do that, to up level. And so many other ones are. I mean, I'm seeing it all over online. So, what does that all mean after all of my rambling is that it's come full circle, right? And how ironic, it's been 3 years for me, literally almost 3 years to the day. The Trinity, right? It's always like the masculine, feminine union with God, that masculine outside of you and you're, the traditional way. No, it's about you becoming your own knight in shining armor. You're your own knight. You're your own horse. You're all of it. You don't need anyone else. Do you want someone else? Yeah. But it's got to be somebody who's at your level. It's got to be somebody, who is fighting this battle. I mean, I'm at this point now where, I am in mission, and it's no longer a hobby. It's no longer a side thing. It is, I'm a light bearer, and this is why I'm here. This is why I'm on earth. And so for me, my partner is going to be a sacred masculine who is also in mission. And I'm fine waiting until that masculine is ready, until that, and I may not even know him yet. That's, for me I never dreamed I'd say those things. 2 years ago, when I was getting certified in my Reiki, I remember just being so obsessed with the twin flame and like, this is what's going to happen. This is my destiny. And just being so close focused on this has to be this person. And now it's like, I'm open to, they could live across the world. So what, I've not had anyone in my life in 2.5 years. So if I saw somebody a few times a year, Separation is an illusion, and that's something that we're forced to grow and be on our own as these feminines, to let go of our needs, to be with someone, to fulfill us and to be there. We have to just really turn it over to God. So that's the feminine. All right, that's where we are. It's up level. In case you want a short synopsis, up level. Masculines. All right, so many of you guys know in March, I really feel like I was already kind of crossing the threshold from 3D existence last fall, especially during Scorpio season. Slap in the face, literally face planted on concrete. It was like, it's time, Sarah. Like, you can't keep doing this. So 2020 has been for me, like, literally, once the quarantine hit, everything shifted for me. I mean, it's just like, boom, go time. And I always had kind of, and a lot of my friends had suspected that there maybe was someone else that was a potential counterpart for me who was already awakened, who had already been working on himself extensively, and was kind of waiting for me to catch up to him. And I kind of had some, feelings about that and premonitions. And someone did come forward in March, and it was just like, whoa, where did you come from? Even though I've known you for a few years. And it was just something, for many reasons, I had never considered as a possibility. And I can tell you, this individual, he's very, very much in his heart, and he's been awakened for, I mean, he's been going through ascension probably for 10 or 11 years. And I've been on the track for 2.5. So, he's more the feminine in that aspect, right? So and you guys know, I'm very masculine in my energy, based on my career, based on just being a fire sign, just my sexuality, like all these things in music, and just, I'm very much, I love sports, all those things. So I can tell you, from having someone approach me in the way that I had envisioned or had tried to approach my twin flame catalyst, right? As the one who's kind of like, I mean, the way he presented himself to me was that he had been waiting for me kind of to get to a certain point in my energy. And I was really starting to feel something in my heart last fall. And then it really just started picking up this year. And he was saying things kind of like he's been watching me develop into myself and love myself, and it's been beautiful to watch. And it's just like, whoa, it just blows your mind that you think there's this person here who's very, very awakened. And then guess what happens, right? You, meaning me, like the masculine part of me, doesn't feel worthy of this. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like I'm advanced enough. I feel like this person is way beyond me. They're more, living in, doing cosmic things. I really love my 3D existence. I love, even though, I mean, I'll be struck, you guys know, I straight up, like, I used to go out all the time. Obviously, I'm not doing that anymore because of quarantine, but I still love to go sit on my patio and drink. My best friend lives, up the way, like up her balcony's there. I still love to do that. I love to listen to rock music. I love to go to concerts whenever that, is available again. I love to just kind of detach sometimes and just, I don't know. I mean, I love to feel like I'm a human. And this person, like, I feel like is like, they're just so, I feel like they're above me. This is me talking in March, right? I've been working on that, but I feel like I'm not worthy of them. I feel like they're more spiritual. They know more. They're going to think that I don't have what it takes to be like them at their level. And I don't know that I want that, because I love my 3D existence, right? I kind of just, it feels safer to, the life I envisioned was, a guy who's awakened, and, we dabble in this kind of stuff, and we go to barbecues with my family, and we just hang out, we do things. And like this person is like, it's almost like he's like an ascended master or like a monk or something, like dedicating his life. And it's like, I don't know that I'm not worthy of that. That's not the life I want. So you don't feel worthy. And you also feel like you can't open your heart, because it's like, my heart, I can, you just feel, because, again, this is maybe the feminine part in me because of what I had been through on my journey with the catalyst, but your heart's closed. But many masculines have a closed heart because of, the way that boys are raised in our society. And this is not how I was raised. I'm just saying masculine gender. They're told they can't have emotions. They're told they can't cry, that they shouldn't have feelings. They're sissies or whatever. So in my case, I had a lot of rejection and abandonment and had went through a lot of heartbreak. And again, I think it's just that energy in me being predominantly masculine is just that, it's just feeling unworthy, feeling afraid, feeling insecure. Um, Again, feeling I'm not as gifted and being stuck in the 3D, and I've been in resistance for a while of actually taking charge and stepping into my power and believing that I have these gifts, believing that I'm good enough, believing that I am, as strongly skilled as a lot of the other light workers that are out there, and that I'm not just dabbling in it, that it's not just a hobby, that it's not just, spirituality or whatever, that this is my life purpose. And so I think some of the masculines, especially if they're starting to awaken, even if they are awakened, like I'm awakened, my feminine side, I guess, awakened first, but you just, you feel like this is, and maybe you feel like somewhat this is a fairy tale. This isn't real. Like, to envision, yeah, I always would said I would love to have a sacred partner who is awakened and who's into all these things like I am. And then it's like when you have somebody standing in front of you potentially that is even has had more experiences than you, and the things that I would say that I've experienced aren't even on the level of closeness of being crazy compared to what they're telling me, which I don't think is crazy, but other people, have heard us talking about alien encounters and all these things. It's just like, oh my God, this person exists. Like, and to see them in front of you, again, you just feel like it's not real. It's a fairy tale, and fairy tales aren't real because we've been taught that with the twin flame dynamic, right? Or whatever it is. The masculine part of you has been, it's just like, well, that type of love isn't, especially if your heart's already closed. Um, the masculines right now, again, they've been going through rapid awakening. For me, I started awakening 3 years ago, 2.5 really. Just the summer, it was just like boom, boom, boom. So some of these people, the feminine, some of them have been on this and tapped in their intuition much longer. It's a difficult process. And so the masculines are experiencing that right now. If they don't know what's happening yet, it's you guys remember when it started for you, there's confusion, there's a lot of things that just come up and you start getting triggered, things start getting, stirred around, um, your guards up, and then too, like, because in this energy of feeling like you're not worthy of your divine feminine, feeling like you're not as spiritual as them, feeling that you're not as devoted to God as them, feeling that you're not as connected or tapped in, or you're not, whatever it is, then you feel like when you are approached by them or whatever, and there's I think some of the masculines maybe pull away after a physical encounter, sexual encounter, because they feel like, well, that's all I was good for. That's all I was good for because I'm not at her level on anything else. So then they kind of shy away, and then sometimes anger comes out, sometimes they ghost, just this shedding of this ego, right? And you just feel like used, or you feel it's not a pleasant feeling. And I've been going through that a couple of times, and it's like, where did this come from? Again, stuff that was not triggered on the other side of my journey, stuff that's being triggered now. So that's how I'm really able to decipher the difference, I think, between the masculine and feminine, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I know I'm just rambling, but I think the masculines are definitely going through an ego death right now. Some of it may stir, again, anger comes up, fear comes up. They tend to, like, if they're like me, you get triggered and you just shut down. You shut off your heart. You close off your heart, and you may get angry. You may get competitive. You may get just numb. I mean, there's been times when I've been triggered these past few times where it's like I don't even cry. I just get pissed off. I get so pissed off. Like I remember in March when the big triggering happened, like things were out of balance, and that connection with this guy immensely, because I was just like, whoa, this is it had the I had the feminine part of me kind of go through that again, that whole codependent process, because we were starting the pandemic was starting. I had a really dear friend commit suicide. All this stuff happened to where I was just like lost. I was like, oh my God, I was terrified. I'm living alone. The world's ending, um, which it's not, but you guys know what it is, and not in the apocalyptic way. But so I just remember that the times I got triggered, I mean, with as the feminine energy getting triggered with the twin flame catalyst, I remember just crying and screaming and wailing and just having this agony come up. This time, like this time around, as the masculine, it's like I just get angry. I would throw things. I mean, it's very rare for me to ever get angry, but I would throw stuff. I wanted to hit things. I actually destroyed my iPhone charger because I threw this thing. I threw something against the wall, and it like hit my iPhone charger. Thank God it didn't hit my phone. But yeah, I mean, it's a totally different. It's like, what is this? Um, so it's a lot of ego stuff coming up right now for the masculines, just because I think if they're going through a rapid awakening, it's big, and also the feminines up leveling is pulling them along in ways that they're not maybe ready for, because I can tell you I'm struggling this week between like I'm kicking ass on my business as the divine feminine, doing all this stuff, like, but every night I'm wanting to have wine, like, and for like I didn't drink for like 3 weeks, like in April. And it's like all of a sudden it's like I just want to listen to rock music and I want to drink. And instead, and I should be like going and meditating and doing all these, and it's just like, no, I need a break from this. I want to go, it's nice out. I want to go sit on my patio, or have a fire in the fire pit with my best friend and just drink and talk to her and like have a normal life. And so I feel like there's definitely this pull. The masculines are getting pulled as the feminines up level, and it's not comfortable. It is it is they're kind of holding on to that, just from my experience. So that could be why I'm not picking up on a lot of union energy. But before we run out of time, guys, sorry, I know we're gonna say like 32 minutes, but I did intend for this really to be more perspectives of an energy update, because if I pulled cards, that's what was going to come out. That's exactly what's happening. Okay, so let's look at the connection between the two, though. We're gonna just do this quickly for the new moon. Like, how is this dynamic going to shift? Because the feminines are up leveling, the masculines are kind of like, oh, I'm not ready for this. No, I wanna just have fun, and I wanna like live in my existence. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Wow, you guys. Wow. So I think it's, we've got a lot of king energy here. And the last couple of weeks we've got tower. And that doesn't surprise me, honestly, because this is realizations, epiphanies. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's a shift. It is a major, major shift. And notice, oh my God, you guys, look at this. I've never seen this. I've never noticed on this card before. It's burning, okay? Oh my God. So there is a feminine coming off of this. She's kind of etherically floating off this tower that's burning. Look what's falling off. A devil. You guys, I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. I'm serious. Like, this is the death of the ego. Not only in the feminine, but mainly the masculine. It's like the feminine is like, I'm up leveling. I'm setting this shit on fire. It's go time. It's time to let go of this 3D existence. We're moving on into the fifth dimension. Whether you like it or not, masculine, it's happening. Okay? And I think, again, a lot of it is the confidence, the lack of confidence. The masculines don't feel ready to step into their King of Wands energy. That's the go forward, the fire, the confidence. And look, it's the it's like the purple violet, which is the indigo, the crown, and third eye. Sorry, can't talk. He's not ready to put on that crown. So he's dabbling and hanging around and doing all these, 3D things. Could be karmic partners, could be the alcohol, could be workaholic, just la la la, like just not listening to their intuition, ignoring all of this. They don't want to, and the feminine's like, nope, we're go setting it on fire. That's her going full speed ahead again with her mission. All right. The masculine is very much in his head. 8 of Swords. In his head, he needs to be in his heart. 8 of Swords is the self-imposed prison. It is, being stuck in your head. And you are. If you're stuck in your head and you're like, and you're not living from the heart space, this is the I'm not good enough. This is the I'm not ready. I want to hold on to the past. I think some of it is they're getting pulled along too, because I think the feminines aren't really afraid of being left out in the cold anymore. I think it's the masculines. Like, I feel like they're feeling that pull that they need to up level, that they're going to get left out in the cold. They need to start living their truth and speaking their truth, which is the blue, the throat chakra. Living and speaking their truth. I mean, look, guys, King of Swords is right here. That's what they need to start doing. That's the want. And the feminines are taking that lead and stepping into their king energy by being the leader, right? Kings are typically the leading, type of thing. And this is also could be the Gemini season coming through. But the energy that's propelling us forward, through this time is the Hierophant, which is the spiritual union card. It is the connection to God. So all of this is being divinely guided, which, I said in the beginning, that if you're on this path, you're kind of just flowing. You're like, no, you just do it. And all these doors start opening. Things just start happening. It's just happening effortlessly. You don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. And you just make it happen. I feel like there could be still some things that need to be either within the connection between them or other, past energies. That was 717, right when I looked up there. 7 of Swords is, it's like the feminine is holding these. It almost looks like they're stabbing her in the heart. It's like the betrayal, all the times that the masculine, the male and whoever the runner was, betrayed. It's like maybe something happened with the full moon this last time. They ghosted again or something like that. The feminine, I think, needs to heal that. But I think both partners need to make sure that they're not letting this past energy clog their heart. That's what I'm getting. Because see how these are stabbing her in the heart and she's got her arms crossed. It's like, nope, I'm not letting you in. I think there could be, a lot of that is self-sabotage because we have 9 of Swords. 9 is a energy of solitude. It's self-sabotage to dwell in that energy, because what we have here is Queen of Coins, which is Queen of Pentacles. Okay, we have that, and the outcome here is the 10 of Coins, 10 of Pentacles. So I think what we're being called to do is release any kind of stuck energy in the heart, resentments, fears, really opening up our hearts, really opening ourselves up to the spirit and the divine, and trusting that I'm getting that this queen, I think as the feminines become, make their own pentacles, Queen of Coins, this is going to kind of pull this, again, this energy ushering in, her going out on her own and like saying, all right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to step in mission on my own. I'm going to do this physically. It's going to, force all this, some stuff to the surface. The masculines aren't going to be able alchemically to close their heart off any longer. But what's coming is the happy life. Like, she's seeking it. She's going for it. She knows it's coming, right? Look at this. She's leaving him behind. It's like, well, dwell in it, but your tower's falling. It's burning because I'm going forward. She's here in the yellow. Look, she's here in the yellow. She's like, this is what I'm working towards, and I'm going to do it with or without you. That's absolutely, wow. Whoa. See that energy? I'm like dropping cards everywhere. Um, I want to pull, I've got a new deck here. I don't want to run out of time, but it's the Twin Flame Angel Numbers by Mystic Moon. So just, you know, this is a number that you start seeing or you have been seeing. Whoa. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. This is one I see all the, all right, I swear I shuffled these. I see these all the time. 7-11 all the time. 7-11 and 7-1-11. Progress is being made in your connection despite what you're seeing in the 3D world. Progress is being made in your connection despite what you are seeing in the 3D world. So again, I was just saying alchemically, feminines just keep going forward. Triggers brought on by your counterpart are necessary for the healing of past wounds and traumas. What was I just saying about that? About something in the connection in the heart space that needs to be cleared out. Triggers are necessary. Okay, so this is beautiful. And again, you know, I think the feminines are at the point, just like, you know, where even if you've had somebody else after the catalyst present themselves to you, you're not latching onto that. It's like, wow, this is another possibility, that there's somebody who's awakened, that and there he's teaching me lessons, he's guiding me, he's in mission. This is beautiful, and it's a friendship. And you know, I think as a feminine, the more you're rising, the more you're going to attract more awakened men. So I would encourage you not to hold on to an outcome with one specific person. Okay, you know your destiny, you know your truth, but as long as you're stepping into your power and you're following your divine guidance, it's all going to come into place. Masculines, you know, feel those things when they come up, purge them, let them out, hit things if you need to, just not people, or you know, hurt anything. Don't hurt yourself. But you know, everything is happening as it's supposed to. Okay, so just listen to your guidance, trust, and you know, I'm here for you guys. Personal reading if you need it on your soul connection, and I'll be posting more things on my page as time goes by. So best of luck to you all. Till next time.